Samui is one of Naruto's greatest kunoichi. Before y'all cook me in the comments, I already know. She gets no screen time, barely affects the plot, and the only thing people remember about her are her. That's what I used to think. Kishimoto accidentally created one of the most competent ninja in Kumogakure and then just sidelined her. Samui wasn't just an oppai side shinobi, she's arguably one of Kumogakure's greatest kunoichi that Kishimoto underwrote, and I'm going to prove it. Cue my music.
This is what it's supposed to be. On the highway and I'm thinking that I love her.
雲隠れが集まった最強任務の5つのうち4つ。言霊を録音し、人を封じる紅久子。
In the little that we see Samui, she has been shown to be a reconnaissance specialist, a shinobi who gathers information and relays it back to the Raikage, especially in diplomatic affairs. And this starts as early as her first appearance. In the aftermath of Sasuke's attack on Killer Bee and Naruto's victory over Pain, Team Samui was tasked with heading to Kumogakure to deliver a letter regarding Kumogakure's intent to take over the Sasuke and Akatsuki situation. Right here, we have to understand the severity of this mission for Kumogakure, and why Team Samui being chosen says a lot about Samui specifically. From the Hidden Cloud's perspective, Killer Bee is like Jiraiya to the Hidden Leaf, but really more like Naruto, the highly beloved ninja who is the little brother of the Fourth Raikage, a Jinchuriki who has fully mastered his bond with Yuki, the second strongest tail beast, and has been a mentor to many of the shinobi in the Hidden Cloud village, also Rapstar. So for them, this is like a Sasuke retrieval arc, but more dire. On top of that, this mission also involves announcing a 5 Kage summit, something we have never seen before in the series at that point. This is an S-rank ninja mission to the highest degree. Let's not forget that Kumogakure and Konoha aren't on the best terms. The Hyuga incident, which I explained in my Hinata video, y'all can check that out, means these two villages have a checkered past. So this mission is not a walk in the park either. And in light of all of this, the ones the Raikage specifically chose were Team Samui. That makes Samui's introduction to the plot not just meaningful, but gives us an insight into where she stands within Kumogakure as a shinobi. Even when Darui is infuriated with Naruto and the Leaf Ninjas for not giving up Sasuke's possible location, to the point of actually beating Naruto up, Samui keeps it purely about why they are there, intel. Since this series primarily follows Konoha shinobi, other villages and ninja tend to get pushed to the side with very little screen time or emphasis. The only semi-exception to this is Sunogakure, which is why when we do see these brief moments showcasing foreign village shinobi, all the little things count. So going back to Samui, in a situation where tensions are high and the need for retribution is on the face of every cloud ninja, the fact that Samui keeps her eyes on the prize regarding gathering intelligence tells you a lot. But where her reconnaissance specialty turns into something more and turns into a full bank of knowledge is during the battle of the allied forces against Kinkaku and Ginkaku. In this, we see Samui's immense knowledge about them. And yes, the Gold and Silver brothers are originally Hidden Cloud shinobi, so it makes sense why Samui would know so much about their reputation and history. But when she reveals how well she knows the Sage of Six Paths tools, her intelligence is on a different level entirely. She is the one to identify and explain the use of the 4 tools, the Bashosen, the fan that possesses all 5 chakra natures, which Tenten later possesses in her arsenal. Check out that video if you can. The 7 Stars Blade, the Gold Rope, and the Beni Hisago, the Crimson Gourd that seals an opponent after they say their most spoken word or by staying silent for too long. This is the tool that ultimately sealed Samui and is the sole reason why her screen time during the war was so limited. If it wasn't for Atsui doing too much and not letting Samui explain the tools properly, they both would have had more time on screen, so thanks to him. Also in the Shippuden Blood Prison movie, during the beginning scenes, we see Team Samui reporting to the Fourth Raikage, where A is inquiring about Samui's knowledge regarding the whereabouts of the Box of Ultimate Bliss. Like I said before, in the little we see Samui, she is always gathering, giving, or reporting knowledge to someone, especially the Raikage, which tells us that Samui is important to Kumogakure for intel. But when we put a magnifying glass on Team Samui in general, she plays a much larger role, which leads to my next point.
それとも何かが叱られるのか最近体脂肪率が高くなってることバレたのかやっぱポテトにマヨネーズつけて食べたの
When we look at her role on Team Samui, she embodies a mother-like figure to this group. This team comprises of Karui and Omoi, who both operate as Chunin, while Samui is the head Jonin of the squad. According to the data books, she is 29 years old, compared to Karui, who is 17, and Omoi, who is 16, all during Shippuden, where they are mostly shown. So not just from a rank standpoint, but on a maturity level, Samui is far older and much more experienced than Omoi and Karui. Now obviously, it is named Team Samui, so she is the captain, which makes her seniority self-explanatory. And from what I said before about foreign shinobi systems not being explored, we get an interesting insight into how Kumogakure is ran. It favors a 3-man squad with 1 head Jonin, which is different from the system we're familiar with in both the Leaf and Sand, which typically uses a 4-man squad with 1 supervising Jonin. Now this could be a simple unexplained plot point Kishimoto chose to overlook, however it still has to be touched on. Also, looking at Cloud Ninja specifically, a trend we notice is their use of sword style technique. Karui and Omoi both carry katanas, Samui carries a Tanto blade, and if we apply some Konoha logic to this group, Samui most likely trained Omoi and Karui as shinobi after they left the academy at young ages, facilitating their growth as ninja, with Omoi later being promoted to Jonin status, and and Karui eventually becoming a Konoha resident, marrying Choji somehow. No offense to Choji. But where Samui's mother figure attitude really comes into play is how she manages the polarizing personalities of Omoi and Karui. Karui, from what we're shown, she is definitely one thing, the hot-headed ninja of the group. Karui's abrasive, rough around the edges type attitude can be intimidating as an opponent, but it also can get in the way of an important mission. Going back to post-Pain's assault on Konoha, Karui is beating up Naruto badly because he won't give up information on Sasuke and Killer Bee's whereabouts, which could work great for interrogation, but for facilitating healthy diplomatic relations ahead of a 5 Kage summit, this is horrible. Omoi, the introverted overthinker of the squad. His overthinking leads him to the most scandalous conclusions. Like in the anime when Samui's complaining about her shoulders, Omoi suggests her breasts are the cause, which is genuinely comedy. So the dynamic of Team Samui looks like this. Omoi says something outlandish, Karui gets angry and beats him up, and Samui keeps her eyes on the mission. In the Blood Prison movie, when Karui and Omoi are fighting, Samui dismisses their behavior entirely and addresses the Raikage about the emergency situation. During their time with the leave, Samui kept everyone on track. She always maintains a calm, reserved expression even when Karui and Omoi are acting up. It's like she's the mother figure driving while the toddlers fight in the backseat. That's the dynamic of Team Samui in a nutshell. What's also notable is her relationship with Atsui, another cloud ninja and Samui's younger brother. By analyzing their dynamic, mainly shown during the battle against the Gold and Silver brothers, we see where Samui's mother figure attitude really comes from. Atsui's energetic, outgoing, and recklessly enters battle, which makes sense since his name translates to hot. Even when fighting Kinkaku and Ginkaku, Samui is more focused on her sibling's safe, warning him about the danger of those legendary shinobi than the actual battle itself, which tells you exactly who Samui is as a person. Just like Omoi and Karui having contrasting personalities, Atsui meaning hot polarizes with Samui meaning cold, both in name and in temperament. Unlike Atsui, Samui is calm and calculated. We never see her be openly emotionally expressive, and honestly, that's what makes her kind of cool. Her ability to prioritize circumstances is what makes her a competent ninja by Kumogakure standards, which is why the Raikage depends on her so much. That cannot be overlooked.
箱のありかは突き止めましたが、警備が厳しく手を出せない状態。
Samui is the Raikage's most reliable shinobi, and to reiterate, given how little screen time she gets, that can sound like a crazy take, because it would make more sense that Darui, someone who mirrors the 3rd Raikage's jutsu style, is A's personal bodyguard, and later becomes the 5th Raikage in Boruto, or Killer Bee, the 8-Tails Jinchuriki, who trained many important cloud ninja and happens to be A's little brother, or Mabui, A's personal secretary, would come before Samui. However, as I explained in the previous section, it's Samui's intelligence that makes her reliable to the Raikage, and her irrelevance in the main plot is actually kind of a strength. In my previous Hinata video, which to say it again you should watch right after this, I explained Kumogakure's attempt to kidnap Hinata for knowledge on the Byakugan, which instantly got shut down. But when we look at Samui, we see that she is able to gather information from other villages and serve as a reliable reference source for the Raikage. That likely comes down to her low profile as a battle type ninja. Because of her less threatening presence, other villages feel less guarded around her. Combine that with her monotone demeanor and you have someone who can obtain and relay information by hiding in plain sight. But she is stronger than we realize. Her official rank is Jonin, meaning she's passed Kumogakure's equivalent of the Chunin exams, making her amongst the most elite ninja in her own shinobi class. Now the data books give very little information on her fighting style. All we know is she carries a tanto, meaning short blade in Japanese, which implies a specialization in kenjutsu. The only confirmed technique she is known to use is cloud style reverse beheading, a Kumogakure technique. The data books do not reference any notable chakra natures, but given the hidden cloud's general affinity towards lightning release, we can really speculate that she possesses lightning release chakra nature, jutsu that we simply were never shown. This may be more of a slight on Kishimoto than anything else. Samui is a Kunoichi who is severely underdone in terms of screen time presence, including movies. Samui has only roughly 10 minutes of screen time across both the Naruto and Boruto series. Like, what the f? One thing I would have loved to see is Samui being used more often. Take Tenten for instance, a character who similarly had very low screen time and was underutilized by Kishimoto. Fillers were added that highlighted her specifically, and in the movies, she was given shine to showcase her abilities, leaving us with at least some sense of characterization. Something similar for Samui would have sufficed. Fillers or just more to work with beyond getting sucked up by the gourd. Now, cutting Kishimoto some slack, Samui isn't really relevant to the overall story of Naruto, so it makes sense she wouldn't be prioritized. But across a plethora of the major Naruto games like the Storm series and Shinobi Striker, her character is either not playable or not featured at all. And what makes that more frustrating is that even in the Dragon Ball games, some of the weakest and most insignificant characters like Pilaf get featured in the Tenkaichi series. No shade. What's most telling is that Omoi and Karui aren't playable in a lot of the games either, but at least in Boruto there is some progression made on their characters. Omoi reaches Jonin status and Karui has a whole kid. But going back to Samui, there was just a lot of unused, underutilized potential inner character that Kishimoto let slip. For all the material that could have been expanded upon, being sidelined the way she was is just wild. At the end of the day, Samui is a Kunoichi who acts as Kumogakure's premier reconnaissance specialist. On Team Samui, she functions as the mother figure, handling both Omoi and Karui. She serves as the Raikage's most trusted operative while operating with as little screen time as she has. Samui isn't just a big Kunoichi, she was the Hidden Cloud's perfect Kunoichi and Kishimoto forgot about her entirely. But that's what I think. If you think differently, agree, or want to add more, comment down below. Right after, leave a like and subscribe. Once again, my name is AOI-KUN and this was my synopsis.